Hello YouTube, Retro PC Gaming channel here to all the retro gamers. Today's tutorial is PC emulator again, and with the tutorial is going to show you how to set up and install Windows XP under PC emulator for those who prefer to play it on Windows XP. First of all, you would need to download PCem v17 for Windows and the PC emulator ROMs. So first of all, you want to copy all your ROM files from your PC emulator ROMs file that you can find on the website. Then go to PC emulator ROMs, and then you want to paste it, and then copy all the files that have been on the PC emulator ROMs. And after this, you want to create a new virtual machine, and then we're going to type in Windows XP Home Edition and Service Pack 3, and after that you want to click OK, and you want to change the machine to the slot 1 GB, and I'm going to go for the Intel Celeron this time tutorial to make it slightly easier. I'm going to go for the Celeron 333, and I'm going to select 512 megabytes. Then you want to go to Device, and you go 3DFX Voodoo 3000, and you're going to go for the speed Fast VLB/PCI, and then you're going to tick Voodoo Graphics. And after that, you want to change frame rate memory, buffer memory size, and texture memory size both to 4 megabytes, as with the Windows 98 tutorial and ME tutorial. And then you want to go to Device, and this time go for the Sound Blaster PCI 128. Sound Blaster AW332 and 16 is only for Windows 95, 98 or Millennium Edition. But for XP, use the Sound Blaster PCI 128 or the Intel Sonic Pine Audio PCI. But I'm going to go for Sound Blaster PCI 128. And then you're going to set the floppy disk drive to none. Set the FD1 DD1 to 14.44 meters, and then you're going to go to hard drive. Going to click on browse, and then you're going to go Windows XP, and I'm going to go 20 gigabytes for this because it says not found. So what we're going to have to do is go to MH file, dynamic size, and I'm going to go 20,000 megabytes. And I'm going to go to new file, and I'm going to type Windows XP, which is Windows XP 20 gigabytes. Click save, and then you want to click on OK. Yep, drive created, and then you want to go to the mouse and select the Microsoft IntelliMouse PS/2, and then we're going to start up the virtual machine. And then the next step is we're installing it on the Celeron CPU this time, unlike Windows 95 and Windows 98 where I'd use the Intel Pentium 2s. And then it says disk boot failure, so we're going to load image, and then we're going to go XP Service Pack 3, and then we're going to do a hard reset, and I put it on full screen. Then you have to press Del to enter setup, BIOS feature setup, and set the boot sequence to CD-ROM. And then you want to enable plug and play. I'm definitely going to go yes for it. And then after this, press escape, go to integrated peripherals, and then you want to set the USB support, which I'm going to enable. I'm going to enable USB keyboard support for Windows XP, but anyway, I'm just going to disable it. And then I'm going to go look at the onboard FDD. I'm going to disable. That's not needed. I don't need these. Anyway, I am going to have onboard floppy disk drive controller enabled for it, and I'm going to have these onboard serial port 1 and 2 disabled and the onboard parallel port to disabled. Press escape, and then you want to press save and exit setup, Y, and then press enter. And setup is now inspecting the hardware. And now we're going to go on to Windows setup. And the setup is now starting up Windows after setup has finished loading all its files. So it's now processing information. So now we're on to the Windows XP setup. So we're going to press enter to continue to set up Windows XP now. Press enter. And then F. And then we're going to hit. And then you have to read the license agreement. So hit F8 for I agree. And then we're going to enter install to unpartitioned space, so press enter. And then we're going to format the partition using the NTFS file system. And the setup is now formatting. So this could take an hour or two or an hour and a half for the setup to format the drive. Okay, now after the setup has finished formatting, it's checking the hard drive, and the setup is now copying all the files, which is going to take several minutes to complete. Because with Windows XP was really Microsoft's best Windows operating system we have ever used. I remembered Windows XP, and I knew Windows XP was the really cool operating system back in the 2000s decade. But the problem is you had a lot of security updates to do when we had Windows XP back in the 2000s decade. But sadly, Windows XP support ended on the 8th of April 2014, which was really sad. But then, after Windows XP, you get Windows Vista and then Windows 7. Some people do like using Windows Vista because they like using the movie maker that Windows Vista came with. But Windows 7 then took away the movie maker, but you can always get your own movie maker or something like that. Windows 7 was more obtrusive and more stable than Windows Vista, but Windows 8 was horrible. It's really designed to be used on a tablet. People were not really happy when Windows 8 came out in 2012. It was Microsoft's worst operating system. And of course, after Windows 8 didn't become the most popular, as Windows 8 wasn't the most popular, people still preferred to stay on Windows 7 or Windows Vista, which were more stable operating systems, of course. And then when Windows 8.1 came out in late 2013, it was much better than Windows 8. And after 8.1 came Windows 10, which was released in July 2015. But now it's 2025 and Windows 10 is 10 years old. It'll be its 10th anniversary in July 2025. And of course, sadly, Windows 10 support is coming to an end in October 2025. And if Windows 10 support has ended, then you should all move on to Windows 11, which came out in 2021. It's a much better Windows operating system used to get mixed, but then got much better than Windows 10, but it's the current stable operating system as of 2025. So the copying of the setup is still copying the files, which is going to take a while. And I'll see you after the setup has copied the files. Okay, so taking a long time to copy all the files if you're installing Windows XP on PC emulator, but it would be better that if you'd installed Windows XP on VMware Player, it would install a lot faster than on PC emulator or 86box. Some people will recommend that installing on VMware Workstation Player is much faster than on PC emulator. And one day, if new versions of PC emulator came out, hopefully Windows XP will be much more playable. These games, old games, would be much more playable for when you run XP, for Windows XP games. And then hopefully, now we're going to press delete to enter the setup. And then we're going to go to the BIOS features, and then I'm going to set the boot sequence to C only. And then we're going to save and exit setup, press Y, hit enter. And then after that, we're going through the next part of the setup, and it's just detecting the PC emulator and verifying pull data. And here we are, Windows XP. We're on Service Pack 3, which was in the last version released in 2008. Service Pack 1 came out in 2002, and then Service Pack 2 in 2004, and then Service Pack 3 in April 2008, which was the last version of major update of Windows XP. But now it's installing Windows. So setup will complete in approximately about 39 minutes before it's ready to be used. And now it's just installing devices. Now, if you install Windows XP on PC emulator, there's no need to install the Intel chipsets or need to install the VDFX Voodoo 3000 or 2000 manually, or need to install the Sound Blaster 128 PCI manually, because Windows XP nor neither would you also need to install DirectX 8. So best of all, we don't have to go through the setup on how you can install some of the files that are needed, because Windows XP comes with every device's pre-installed already for after you installed XP on your emulator. And best of all, you can now easily play 3D and 2D accelerated games much easier than having much now. With Windows XP coming with Voodoo 3000 pre-installed, you get to play the 3D and 2D accelerated games without having to install the 3DFX Voodoo 3000, because 3DFX Voodoo 3000 is already pre-installed on PCs, on emulators running Windows XP. And for Windows XP running under PC emulator, and you can now play 3D acceleration games up until 2002 or 2003 on your device, and of course, Windows XP Home Edition not only starts faster than any previous versions of Windows, but it also runs your programs more quickly. And it was also the first Windows operating system in which Windows Media Player had DVD playbacks, where you can now play DVD music, DVD movies, or... Oh, the screen just flashed, which indicates that the 3DFX Voodoo 3000 is just getting pre-installed. So, after the setup is completed, hopefully we'll be going for the next tutorial on finalizing the installation and how we can activate Windows XP before it expires after 30 days. But I'm not going to explain how to activate through Windows in more detail, but I would like to show you how you can activate Windows XP via the telephone, which I'm not going to explain in detail. The only way you would have to activate Windows XP to go for the Windows activation before the 30 days is up is to activate XP as of 2025. You would have to activate it via the telephone, but you won't be able to activate it via the network because Microsoft does not support XP anymore. And I'm not going to show you the Windows activation in detail. Anyways, it's already installing devices. And the screen is just flashing again. And best of all, with XP, it comes with broadband. Now, I don't want to talk about in detail. Windows XP also includes the most secure version of Internet Explorer to date, with many new features that could help enhance the security and privacy of information that you can send and receive over the internet, while simplifying the daily tasks that you perform with new innovative browser capabilities such as a pop-up blocker and the ability to control plugins and more, let you experience the web exactly the way you want. Anyways, this green bar is almost filled up now, and once it fills up, we'll be finalizing the installation and completing the Windows XP setup. But to activate Windows XP, which I'm not going to explain, but then after it finishes installing, I would also need to insert the product key that I'm not going to explain in detail. So now we're going to the regional and language options. So if you lived somewhere outside of America, all you want to do is click customize, and then you want to set it to other countries, whether for your UK, Australia, or Switzerland, or New Zealand, or Ireland, or any of the residents who are living in Germany or living in other countries. You would want to select those. Okay, so for me, I belong in the United Kingdom, so we're going to click on United Kingdom, and I'm going to set the region to United Kingdom, and I'm going to set the languages to and then you want to click details, and I want to set this, and then you want to click on add, and then we're going to select for the United Kingdom, click OK, and then after that you want to go to English. You want to set the default to English United Kingdom, remove United States, click apply. Oh, Windows could not remove United States because it is currently in use. It will be removed next time either you boot or log off or log in. So now you've done that. So after that, click apply, and now it's set to United Kingdom, the area I reside in. And then you want to click on advance, and then I'm going to set this to United Kingdom. I'm going to use the mouse to set it to United Kingdom. Click apply, and then I'm going to set this to where, if I can find GMT, which I can't find. So I've set the regional to United Kingdom. Click OK, and then after that, click next, and then I'm going to type in the name PCem tutorial, and I don't need to add the organization onto it. Now I need to enter in the product key. Okay, and this computer's name is PC Emulator. So, and then we're going to set the time to GMT. Click next, and now it's installing the network. So it's just deleting files, and it's copying files now. This is taking a while to install if you're installing on PC Emulator. And of course, did you know, and it is actually the first operating system where you could record a CD as easily as saving information to a floppy disk. Windows XP makes it easy to copy photos to a CD. It also supports integrated CD recording so that you can easily save files to a CDR or CD-ROM drive. And now it's just copying all the files, and it's completing the installation. We're getting to the end of the Windows XP installation now, so setup will complete in approximately 24 minutes. And it's getting closer now to this green bar of the completion of installation is almost finished now. So anyways, once the installation is finished, the next tutorial we're going to have to show you is to test out, to finish the setup, and then we would test out one of these 3D accelerator games that should properly work on Windows XP, because Windows XP has 3D acceleration pre-installed already, and best of all, you don't have to manually install the 3DFX Voodoo 3000 graphics for PC users who are installing Windows XP under PC Emulator. And it's installing start menu items, which is good thing. And after the installing the start menu items is all completed, the next step it's now going to do is, did you know Windows XP does have Windows Update that provides you critical software updates and hardware support files for your Windows XP computer? And then you could choose to have set up check the Windows Update website to ensure that you have the latest updates to make this run smoother. And of course your computer can now be and now it's registering components, which is still very, very slow installation if you're running a PC emulator. Whereas if you go for the PC emulator, I meant VMware Player instead, or VirtualBox, it should install a lot faster than in this emulator, along with 86box. Anyways, it's now saving settings and it's now finalizing the installation, which is due to be completed now. So this is just taking time now to get it completed now. And it's just removing any temporary files being used after the installation is almost completed now for Windows XP under PC emulator. So setup is now due to complete in approximately 1 minute. And after I've done this tutorial, hopefully you'll all be ready to start using Windows XP for the first time for PC users who want to play Windows XP under PC emulator rather than playing on Windows 98. So now the setup has just finished now, and it's rebooting. And now we're on Windows XP. And the setup is just almost complete now. And it says, to improve the appearances of visual elements, Windows will automatically adjust the resolution. Hit OK. And then we're on Windows XP PC emulator now. Just taking a while to and here we are now. This is the welcome to Windows XP after the installation, where you'd get the installation music. This is what would happen after the first time you installed Windows XP on, or when you've bought new PCs back in 2001 or back in 2002. This is what you'd get. So click next. And then I'm going to say help protect my PC. Click next. And it's just taking a while. Okay, so, and then I'm going to call the PC username. Going to call it PCem tutorial. And then click next. And then that's it. You're all ready to go. So click finish. And we've now done the installation of Windows XP. And now we've completed the tutorial, the Windows XP setup. The sound is down, but of course Windows XP does come with the Sound Blaster 128 pre-installed, but the sound has gone down. So all you want to do to put the volume up after it gets onto the start menu, which is taking a while to load. Loading, loading, loading. And there it is. It's now setting personalized settings for Windows Desktop Update. Internet Explorer, Browser Customizations, Outlook Express. And here we are. Now we're on Windows XP. Remove the recycle up the top. Bin up the top left. And then we're going to go there. Click on the X. It's just taking a while to load. And then we're going to go to Sound Blaster. I'm going to turn the volume up. And there you have it. I don't want to take a tour. Go to recommendations. And I have antivirus already installed, so I don't need it pre-installed now. So that's here you have it now. Now we're going to change the... I'm going to user account, and I'm going to change it to, for example, this. Change the picture. And I'm the computer administrator. I don't need to create a password now. So now you've done this. Next tutorial, I will show you how to test out the games to see if we can work after I activate Windows XP through the activation product. Okay, so now we're going to click finish. And then we're going to test out Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, which does come with 3D acceleration required if you're wanting to play this game in 3D. But, best of all, the game is working perfectly good, which is good news. And I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And it's all working perfectly good. That's good. And I really hope you find this tutorial very useful. And I hope that in the future, when PC Emulator version 18 comes out, or new versions of, or new graphics card has been added to the Windows XP emulator tutorial. I mean, if new devices were to come to XP in the future, I would like to show you how another Windows XP setup tutorial with the new Intel Pentiums, as well as the new video cards that does require Windows XP. And I hope you find the PC Emulators videos tutorial. And after this, I'm going to go through 86 box tutorial, especially for the Windows 98 and NME and XP again. And I hope if PC Emulator version 18 or later comes in the future, whether it's the late 2020s or 2030s, hopefully these games should then be more playable with Windows XP. But of course they're still playable on Windows XP as of 2025 up to 2002 or 2003. And I hope this video tutorial is very useful. If you have any questions, please leave your comments below and like your videos. And don't forget to hit the notification bell and remember to subscribe to my channels. Goodbye.